back in the saddle here?
Yeah, it feels good just to come out here and have a good practice. And then, obviously it's a really good Broncos team, so we're looking forward to the opportunity.
What say to you on the week you're coming back, the guy that replaced you in New York is being benched?
Yeah, I'm not really paying too much attention to what's going on over there, but I did see it. Obviously, it's a crazy business. But yeah, we're really focused on what's the task at hand right now, which is playing a really good Broncos team.
Well, I guess is that just show just how tough it is to be a quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, playing quarterback in the NFL is it's a tough job, but it's the best. It's the best job in the world. So to be able to come out here and do that every single day, you don't take it for granted at all, or at least I don't. So. But yeah, it comes with the territory, though. It's a tough position, and but at the end of the day, it's fun. And for me, I'm living out my dream every single day.
To David's point, is there any part of you that feels like some level of not satisfaction, but just like, I'm telling you, it's hard. It's to see Zach going through it now.
No, I'm not here to talk about what's going on in New York. We got our hands full with a really good Broncos defense, and I'm just going to stay focused on that.
And maybe the question is just, this isn't just in New York. Houston's got Kyle Allen, going to him this week. Just how the importance of having a solid backup quarterback, is it just re-emphasized in a week like this?
I think to your point, I think having a good backup is very important. But to the extent of which the starter gets benched or they don't want to play the starter, I don't know if that's necessarily why you need to have a good backup. I think you go into a season thinking, okay, this is our starting quarterback, this is our guy that's going to lead us to win a Super Bowl, and then it's part of the game, unfortunately, where guys go down and guys get hurt. You look at the Saints and what Teddy did in 2019, for Drew to go down a little bit with that thumb injury and then come in 2019, and I think he won like 5 games in a row. That's kind of why you have a good backup. I don't think you want to have a good backup to be able to bench the starter. So, but yeah, I think to your point, I think it is important to have a good backup.
Sam, what's the biggest challenge to jumping in at this point in the season when everybody you're playing against, or most anyway, and with, have been playing for about 11 or 12 weeks?
Yeah, I think for me it's just about having really good reps in practice, and taking all the time I need after practice to get some routes, get some throws with the guys if I need it. But yeah, I think it's about making every rep count during practice.
Sam, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I know Josh McCown was a mentor of yours early in your career, and he was a backup, and he had been through all kind of the rigors of the NFL. How much did he help prepare you for the adversity that you would eventually face here?
Yeah, Josh is a great dude, one of the best guys, one of the best teammates I've ever been around. And yeah, he just prepared me for everything. As a rookie coming in here in this crazy league, there's nothing that can really prepare you for everything that you're going to see in this league. And so with him being that voice of reason for me my rookie year, it helped me a ton. And even looking back on some of the things he said to me back then, I still use those words of wisdom even now.
There's been a lot of talk about, hey, if you do well the last part of this year, that the Panthers may want you back next year, either to be a starter or to be maybe a bridge for a rookie to draft in the first round. What is your goal? Do you want to be a full-time starter again in the league, or what do you foresee?
Right now I'm not focused on the future, in any circumstance. I think for me it's really about focusing on this Broncos defense, and if I look too far in the future or think about what things could look like for me, next year, I'd be doing this team and this organization a disservice.
What does this Broncos defense has been pretty successful. What do they do well?
Yeah, I think they do a really good job mixing up their pressures. I think they do a really good job disguising. Their safeties are really good, and Jackson and Simmons. Obviously, their secondary with Pat, Surtain, and obviously they got a great front. So we got our hands full. But it'll be fun to attack them, and it'll be a fun challenge for us.
So you mentioned a couple weeks ago that while you were on IR, you spent time with like the defensive guys, just trying to learn from that point of view. Who are some of the guys that you talked to, and what exactly did you learn from them during that time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just talked to some guys like Shaq, just, in terms of what he's looking for, like pre-snap with motions and, setting the strength and, just what they're talking about defensively. Because sometimes as an offense, you talk about, this is why they're setting the formation this way, or this is why they're setting the strength of the defense this way. And, you might see one thing on tape, but it's actually they're looking at something completely different than maybe what we think they're looking at. So, and then some of the DBs, it's always fun to talk to DBs in terms of, route concepts and, different coverages that they're playing and what they're looking at in terms of, when number 2 goes in or number 1, has an in-breaker, if they're looking for number 2 to come out. So, it's really fun to be able to talk to those guys, especially with all the time off that I had. It was good to be able to talk to them about just football.
Was it more like a curiosity thing, or was it kind of thinking I might improve if I do this? Like,
No.
what made you do it?
No, I think it was just conversations that ended up popping up. It wasn't me like trying to gain an edge or anything like that. It was just talking with the guys, and then all of a sudden those conversations popped up, and football's fun, man. Football's a fun game. So whenever you get a chance to talk about ball with the fellows, it's always fun to learn.
How was having Steve in the offensive room a lot helped you? Could you see the
Say that one more time?
Steve Wilkes, how him in the offensive room, the quarterback's room sometimes, I guess, seeing what you're looking at through the defensive eyes that he has.
Yeah, I think anytime you get a different perspective, from an offensive, from the offensive side of the ball, kind of like what I just said, talking to defensive guys, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about where they're, like I said, where they're setting the strength or where they think that the ball is going, based on certain motions or certain sets.
One of the external narratives has been people want to see how you play behind a vastly improved offensive line. Are you likewise curious?
No, I think for me, I'm just excited to play football. I'm excited to be able to go out there and play with the guys and, hopefully just, I think the biggest thing for me is playing consistent and, taking what they give me. I think that'll be the kind of the story of the day on Sunday, and, I'm excited to go out there and do what I can to help this team win.
Did you get bored at all over the last couple months?
No, I think there was enough to be able to keep me busy, and especially with the rehab process and the ankle injury, there's enough to definitely keep me busy. But as I started to get healthy here these last few weeks, just being able to help the quarterbacks and watch as much tape as I could and help them that way, that was something that, I tried to do as much as possible.
And I don't think we've asked you, this kind of became a thing last week, but do you feel like the turf contributed to your injury?
I don't know. Turf or grass, I've always enjoyed playing on grass more. But turf or grass, when you have a 300, pound lineman, falling on your ankle, it's not necessarily going to be a good outcome. So, I don't know if it would have been too much different if it was grass.
To follow up on Joe's question about the offensive line, with quarterbacks, especially young ones, it seems like an ecosystem really does matter. You've thrown 14 passes in the preseason, barely played behind this combination of the offensive line. How much can that help you from a game planning standpoint when you're going up against a team that's not a division rival, that hasn't played you guys in a while? How can that help you strategically at your position?
Yeah, I think for us, it's, for me personally, it's just about going out there and executing. And, I think we have a really good plan. So I think it's just executing the plan on first and second down, putting us in a good position to be able to go win on third down. Then when we get in the red zone, taking advantage of our opportunities there. So that's kind of where my head's at, and I know our whole offense is thinking the same way. So, I believe and I trust in the game plan, and I think we have a good plan this week. So we're going to just go out there and execute it to the best of our abilities.
Sorry if you were asked something like this already, but kind of emotions being named starter again and getting this opportunity once again?
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity. Anytime you get an opportunity to start in this league, it's awesome, and I don't take it for granted for 1 second. But gotta prepare. I've been preparing all week, so just making sure that like today, I thought we had a really good practice offensively. Obviously, there's some things we got to clean up, but looking forward to having another good practice tomorrow. Obviously, it'll be a shorter day with Thanksgiving, but and then coming out here Friday, Saturday, just continue to prepare and get ready for Sunday.
What's it mean when you see guys like Geno Smith coming back and having success second time around? What's that mean to you as far as your potential?
Yeah, I think every story is different. Every guy's different. I think Geno's done a really good job with the opportunity that he was given in Seattle. Again, I think it's all about taking care of the football and completing passes. Anytime you got you're taking care of the football and you have a good completion percentage, usually that's good things happen when that happens. So, I think Geno's been doing a really good job with everything that's been handed to him. But again, different story, different guy, but I think he's been doing a good job.
Coming to that point, though, how much of a fine line is it? Like, you want to go out there, you want to make plays, you want to make the plays to win the game. At the same time, you want to protect the football and just that balance right now to secure your job.
Yeah, I think those plays will come. The explosive plays and all that. We got to trust that those will come throughout the game. But I think it's just about staying in manageable down and distances. I think that's been kind of our crutch throughout this season, is getting in third and longs and not putting ourselves in good enough position to go win on third down. So I think it's just about staying manageable right now, and with that, if the opportunity presents itself for a big play, obviously we're going to take our shot, but there's nothing wrong with checking the ball down.
Sam, how much has the vibe changed in the building over the last, say, 6-7 weeks? And I was curious also how closely you've stayed in touch with Christian.
I think for us, vibe hasn't really changed all that much. We've always been a tight locker room, so I think that's really helped us throughout the changes and everything throughout the last few weeks, or the last 6 or 7 weeks, whatever it's been. And then me and Christian have talked every now and then. Not too much. Obviously, we're both pretty busy. He's still learning the offense over there in San Fran, and still getting everything together, in terms of where he's going to live and all that stuff. So, but yeah, we've talked a couple times.
Did you text him when he had that game where he threw for one and ran for one and caught one?
No, I was, I'm sure a bunch of people were texting him, so I didn't need to blow him up like that.
Last one. Steve Wilkes says that he has a friend relationship with his players because as a friend you can tell them the truth and what they need to hear, versus a buddy just tells guys what they want to hear.
Right.
What's it like being coached by Steve? And I don't know if you can even answer that question yet.
Right. Yeah. I think Coach Wilkes has been doing a really good job in terms of telling us the truth, and obviously that sounds like why would your coach do anything different? But I think with him, he's been really good just in terms of telling us the truth and telling us what it is, and at face value. And when you got a coach who can look you dead in the eye and tell you, you're messing up, or hey, you're doing a good job, we all know that he's going to be telling the truth anytime he says anything to us, and I think there's power in that.
I wanted to ask you too, quick, the reaction of fans that since the end of last year and what you're seeing this year when you're out in public around them now, because obviously last year it seemed like people were ready for a change, and now they seem like they're wanting to see you play again. So what have you noticed?
I haven't noticed anything. I'm just going about my business and making sure that I can do everything that I can to help this team win. I honestly don't pay too much attention to the outside noise.